Hello beautiful Italian learners and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Germana and today we are going to talk about a very discussed topic in the Italian grammar. I'm talking about verbi riflessivi, reflexive verbs. As you probably already know, we use them a lot in Italian. And today we are going to see how to recognize them. I'm gonna also provide you with a list of the most common ones, and also we are going to see what do they generally express and how to conjugate them correctly. But before we continue with the lesson, if you want to see any other Italian grammar videos from me in the future, just make sure to subscribe down below and turn on the post notification so you never miss another upload. Are you ready? Let's get started. So let's start with my question number one. How do we recognize reflexive verbs in Italian? The infinitive form of a reflexive verb won't end in are, nor in ere, and neither in ire, according to the three main conjugations we can find in the Italian language. Rather, you'll find them ending in arsi, or ersi, or even irsi. So you'll basically add the ending si, which is the reflexive pronoun, to the ending of each infinitive conjugation. Like, for example, the verb svegliarsi, to wake up, or sedersi, to sit down, or addormentarsi, to fall asleep. To help you summarize a list of the most common ones, I've created a PDF file which you can download by clicking on the Google Drive link down below in the description box. But let's just quickly see a bunch of them. We can find, for example, the verb lavarsi, to mean to get washed or to wash yourself, or pettinarsi, to mean to brush your hair, or radersi, to shave yourself. As you can see, most of the time, these kind of verbs refer to daily actions we perform on a daily basis, such as waking up, getting up, washing yourself, putting your makeup on, and many others. We call them reflexive verbs because the subject performing the action is at the same time the object of the sentence. So let's just consider the verbs we've seen before in this way. Lavarsi means lavare se stesso or se stessa, depending on the gender of the subject. Or pettinarsi means pettinare se stesso or se stessa. And radersi means radere se stesso or se stessa. But does this mean that a reflexive verb only refers to actions for which the subject is also the object of the sentence? This is not valid all the time. Included in the list there are also the so-called verbi reciproci, reciprocal verbs. So verbs that describe actions performed by two different subjects at the same time on each other. You'll find a list of the most common reciprocal verbs in the same PDF file down below, so remember to download it by clicking on the Google Drive link. But let's just see also in this case a bunch of them. You can find a verb such as abbracciarsi, to hug each other, or salutarsi, to greet each other, or sposarsi, to get married. Let's now see how to conjugate this kind of reflexive verbs. Let's start with a verb of the first conjugation ending in arsi, such as alzarsi, to get up, in the present tense. Io mi alzo, tu ti alzi, lui, lei si alza, noi ci alziamo, voi vi alzate, loro si alzano. What I want you to focus on here is not the tense of the verb, in this case the present tense, because as you can see the conjugation is exactly the one you already know. But look at the pronouns we put between subject and verb. These reflexive pronouns are the object of the sentence. And guess what? as the subject is at the same time the object of the sentence, they perfectly match with each other. That is to say that for the pronoun io, we'll have mi. For tu, we'll have ti, etc. As you can see, they're very similar to the direct object pronouns, but do not confuse them. If you want just to recap and brush up a bit what a direct object pronoun is, I suggest you watch this video up here. So look at the third person, both singular and plural. What can you notice? We said si instead of lo, la, or li, le. Indeed, si is exactly the element that distinguishes reflexive pronouns from direct object pronouns, as it is the one we can find in the infinitive form of a reflexive verb. As per direct object pronouns, we place this kind of reflexive pronouns in the same position, that's to say, right after the subject and before the verb. But of course there are also exceptions, and that's the case of a verb conjugated in the infinitive form, or in the gerund mood, or in the past participle, as well as in the imperative form. So let's see what happens if, for example, we use modal verbs. We call them verbi servili in Italian. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link you up here with the video about the topic, which I suggest you watch to understand what are these kind of modal verbs in Italian. But as you probably already know, they are always followed by the infinitive form of a verb. So that's the case in which we would find the reflexive pronoun of the verb in another position. Let's see an example. Domattina devo svegliarmi alle 6. Tomorrow morning I have to wake up at 6 a.m. Meaning, domattina devo svegliare me stesso alle 6. So we have devo from the verb dovere plus the infinitive form of the verb svegliarsi. The reflexive pronoun of the verb svegliarsi, in this case me, because the subject is io, is right after the infinitive verb svegliarsi, svegliare me, svegliarmi. Nevertheless, we can utter the same sentence, but this time by positioning the reflexive pronoun before the verb dovere. So we can also say domattina mi devo svegliare alle 6, and the meaning would be exactly the same. So you see, as I said before, we generally place the reflexive pronoun right after the subject and before the verb. But this is not the case if we use, for example, verbi servili, modal verbs, because as you've seen from the example, the place in which we will find the reflexive pronoun slightly change. As a matter of fact, you'll find it right before the modal verb instead of the reflexive verb, or even at the end of the verb. So if the verb is, for example, an infinitive, a gerund, a past participle, or an imperative, as I said. Let's see an example with the gerund mood. Guardandomi allo specchio, ho notato un nuovo neo sulla guancia. By looking at myself in the mirror, I noticed a new mole on my cheek. So you see, the verb is guardarsi, meaning guardare se stesso. And as the subject is io, the reflexive pronoun becomes mi. And as we are using the gerund mood, we place the reflexive pronoun right after the verb. Let's see what happens with a past participle, for example. Mi sono alzata alle 6. I woke up at 6 a.m. This tense is called passato prossimo, and if you want to brush up a bit, I'll link you on the top of the screen with the video about it. This tense is basically composed by an auxiliary verb such as essere or avere plus the past participle of the verb. The subject in this sentence is io, and the pronoun is exactly in the middle between subject and verb. And lastly, let's see what happens if we use the imperative form. Alzati, wake up, you. Here again, the reflexive pronoun is combined at the end of the verb. So the subject in this sentence was tu, and the reflexive pronoun was ti. Just to give you a clearer and general overview, let's see some more examples. Ogni mattina mi sveglio alle 7:15. Every morning I wake up at 7:15 a.m. È una buona abitudine lavarsi spesso le mani. It's a good habit to wash your hands often. Vi dovete abbracciare prima di iniziare il dialogo, disse il regista. You must hug each other before starting the dialogue, said the director. Io e Sara ci siamo parlati per tutta la sera. Me and Sara talked the whole night. Preparati o farai tardi a scuola. Get ready or you'll be late for school. Vi siete annoiati tantissimo alla festa. You were so bored at the party. Non mi ricordo mai il suo nome. I can never remember his name. So good, that's all for today's lesson. We will work with this kind of verbs later on in the future, but for now I hope I give you some relevant insight on the topic, and if you have any question, please let me know in the comment section down below. Plus, don't forget that I've been teaching online on italki. Italki is an online language platform where you can have one-on-one online lessons whenever and wherever you want, and all you need is just a long and stable internet connection. In my opinion, this is definitely the most efficient way to reach language fluency. So click on the link in the description box to earn 10 USD italki credits on a purchase of $20. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on my Facebook, Instagram and Twitter account. See you next time. Ciao!